Looks like he's having a nice feast.
She, her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all good.
But it was not all good.
Hi. I use she, her pronouns. I'm not sir. Yeah, like it's like a knife in the heart. I did specifically ask ahead of time not to be called sir. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Okay. The Sweetwater starts at okay.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
It's just always like a knife. It always hurts every single time. I was wondering if there's a manager I could talk to about something that happened. Yeah, I was called sir.
Oh, okay.
It just really sucks every time it happens.
Sorry about that.
I don't need to be called ma'am. I just need to not be called sir, you know? Thank you. Did you call me sir? I just want to tell you that the person who gave me this called me sir. Called me sir.
Yeah, definitely. I think they are right. He's not a sir. He's a Karen. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Luke Rudowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolute wild and crazy news to get into today. As of course, domestically, the price of everything is going sky high in a very unpleasant, confusing way, as the price of your Happy Meal is definitely becoming too unaffordable. All of this as politicians have a plan to finance and fund more complex geopolitical foreign policy that essentially shoots America in the foot and does not protect its interests, or it actually doesn't do anything for the American people. We're going to be talking about that, plus all the latest international developments, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like my Halloween costume, thumbs up this video. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this video was originally shared by Tess T. Achilles Brown, PhD, on Twitter, and their highlight of an individual who looks like they're making their entire careers out of filming themselves and portraying themselves as the victim is, I think, absolutely important to understand some of the mindset and mentality of the modern day youth of this country that clearly see victimization as some kind of currency that they try to exploit and use on social media all the time. Imagine being a human being where you literally record every single interaction, just waiting, just so you could catch someone accidentally or correctly calling out your biology, for frick's sakes. All of this as the corporate media has definitely been selling us a lot of outrage, a lot of emotional, hyperbolic, sensationalistic trash, like the latest article from the Washington Post that, quote, talks about the violent history of pumpkin spice, because there's nothing else to be outraged about except for white women preferences when it comes to their Starbucks lattes. All of this as The Economist literally wrote a more sensationalistic, more insane headline describing how today's America's economy is, quote, allegedly booming, which is an absolutely absurd assertion, especially if you are, you know, an average human being going to the grocery store and paying for things like milk, paying for things like food, paying for things like seed oil laced, high fructose corn syrup filled murder burgers at McDonald's that you used to pay $2.99 for the entire meal just a few years ago, and now you might be paying as much as $18 just for that same single meal. That literally 6x'd its price within the last few years, as of course now in California, major fast food chains like McDonald's and Chipotle's are going to be raising the price on their menus, since there's a new law in California that now pays fast food workers a minimum of at least $20 an hour, a price that of course the buyer is going to be paying with expected price hikes on consumer goods and items. This as the government once again pats themselves on the back for increasing prices of consumer goods that are becoming more and more unaffordable to the general public, as direct government intervention in the economy is absolutely making things worse for everyone. And it's not just the latest tech appliances that the governments have a backdoor to, as of course they are rigging this economy to prevent any competition against the billionaire class that truly does pull their strings. This, as it's been the same billionaire class pushing a woke ESG agenda that of course has people fighting each other and not realizing that they're being entirely screwed by the government. All of this as Elon Musk recently took to Twitter and announced that, quote, the great awakening from woke has happened. This is good for civilization, announcing what many people are calling a major pushback against BlackRock, State Street, the ESG, DEI, social credit score-like system that, of course, has been dominating the corporate world within the last few years, while at the same time pushing very divisive narratives and discriminatory policies that more and more people are getting sick of, as perfectly represented by the latest episode of South Park, which Elon Musk described as the, quote, bellwether sounding. As, of course, that highly anticipated, very well done episode of South Park is, in my own personal opinion, definitely worth a watch. I thought it was hilarious. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. And it definitely poked fun at all the narratives out there that have been shoved down America's throat when it comes to, of course, the woke ESG narrative that now many people reject outright. And I think it's fair to say, feeling the temperature in the room, a lot of people are absolutely just sick of it. As Elon Musk also shortly after those tweets went on and said, quote, the real battle was between the extinctionists and the humanists. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, describing what we have been describing here for a very long time on this independent media organization, and that is, of course, the larger depopulation agenda that is affecting so many people around the world, affecting those who predominantly are unaware of it. We talk about this agenda. We talk about getting you right, getting you straight, you fixing yourself, and becoming the best, strongest version of yourself on LukeUnfiltered.com, our quasi-secret, not-so-secret society, where you also get to call in to the live shows that we do on this particular broadcast. Last night, we had a live show between someone who is very for the Israeli state and, of course, Clint Russell of the Liberty Lockdown podcast. It was a fascinating, very interesting conversation that, of course, got too spicy, and we had to take down this video from YouTube, as, of course, the argument got a little heated, and both sides made some very interesting arguments, as, of course, you could see this video now on rumble.com/wearechange, as, of course, my friend Ryan Black was representing the pro-Israeli side. This video, by the way, has already garnered over 100,000 viewers, as members of LukeUnfiltered.com actually got to call in and be a part of the broadcast. You want to be a part of the next broadcast? Sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com and you will be given instructions on how to call in next time through, of course, our chat room, which I am monitoring during the live broadcast. And that's not the only thing you get, as of course we have a special video report available to you right after this broadcast surrounding this depopulation agenda and, of course, Bootgate, which we're going to be talking about extensively on another broadcast just for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. You also get 3 masterclasses, a forum to talk to like-minded members, a members-only store, in real-life meetups, ticket giveaways, contests, you name it. You got it. 10 years plus of content of behind-the-scenes videos that no one else could see, all available only to you and members of LukeUnfiltered.com. Signing up, it's quick, it's easy, it's simple. You click right here. You could sign up for a year for just $155. You put in your information. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple. You get emailed back a login, bada bing, bada boom, and then you will be a part of the many live broadcasts that we are going to be doing here on YouTube. And, of course, rumble.com/wearechange. And it's really cool to be able to take live questions that are not scripted, that are not pre-planned. And yesterday, we had a great, awesome panel that involved Stephanie, Ian, Clint, Ryan. And truly, doing these shows, I think, is definitely the way that we are going to be moving forward, as you can now expect at least 3 live broadcasts here on this independent media broadcast. The best way to find out about them is, of course, through LukeUnfiltered.com, as I message everyone in the private group here, tell them when we're going to go live, and then allow you guys to participate in the live broadcast as it happens. LukeUnfiltered.com, the best way to do that. Sign up right now, and I will see you there with the special broadcast right after this video. As of course, it's fair to say that the situation in the world is very tumultuous, as we recently saw in Dagestan, where there have been protesters searching out, trying to go after people from Israel. As today, we are getting some reports that the Russian government is actually cracking down on many of these Muslim protesters and arresting them and having them face 5 to 15 years in jail for this incursion at the Dagestan airport that just happened a few days ago. This as Russia is still involved in a full-fledged proxy war between them and the West inside of Ukraine. As today, Time magazine is reporting that the Ukrainian government is actually struggling to raise enough financial support for its ongoing military campaign in the region. This as there have been a lot of accusations of the corrupted Ukrainian oligarchs and bureaucrats in political office stealing money and aid that was going to that country, as a majority of Americans now do not want the U.S. House of Representatives providing more aid and weapons to Ukraine, as Ukrainians' counteroffensive was absolutely an outright failure in many military strategists' opinions. All of this as a lot of Ukrainians have already lost their life when it comes to fighting for essentially yards on the battlefield that do not make a big impact on this entire conflict. All of this as the Ukrainian government is also facing a major shortage of soldiers who more and more are complaining about not having the proper arms and ammunition to fight this conflict. All of this as Ukraine is being outshadowed in the geopolitical space, as of course many Republican and Democratic politicians that used to support them are now fully fledging their support for Israel, as now many House Republicans are voicing their opposition towards giving a blank check to Ukraine, while some of them support a full-on military excursion inside of the Middle East, as of course this also represents a larger proxy war unfolding in the region, as China and Russia have made very strong statements in support of Palestine, as China just recently removed Israel from digital maps on many Chinese government-connected platforms like Alibaba. This as many Chinese internet users are expressing bewilderment as Israel mysteriously disappeared from Chinese mapping platforms with no official explanation at all. This as many politicians, including even the Prime Minister of Israel, have declared that essentially they are involved in a holy war, as Israel has declined many ceasefires and is declaring that this is a time for war. A time for war that has absolutely wreaked havoc on many civilian areas inside of Gaza that there is no denying has a massive humanitarian toll on the region that many countries are outraged about. This as the United States is upping their troops and military installations in the region and becoming targets, a part of this larger proxy war that is now unfolding in the Middle East, as now American troops have been targeted and attacked for the 25th time in recent days by drone and missile attacks inside of the Middle East. This as the U.S. government is absolutely blaming Iran for these attacks. Meanwhile, others are blaming Yemen, as a lot of the missile reports are being launched from that specific region. And Saudi Arabia literally is on alert after they had clashes with Iranian-backed Houthis in the region, specifically in Yemen, as Yemen has officially announced that they are entering the war with Israel. As a Yemeni military spokesperson came out and said, quote, "The armed forces of our country just fired a large number of ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and a large number of drones at various targets of the Israeli enemy of the, quote, occupied territory." This as yet now another country has entered the conflict, and its larger Houthi proxy forces, which are of course connected to the Iranian government, which the United States has already preemptively attacked. Israel has already preemptively attacked Syria. There's already bombs going off in Lebanon, bombs going off in Egypt. As of course many people predict, it's not just going to be Yemen that's going to be involved in this conflict, as of course there are many other forces, groups, and countries waiting to get involved that of course probably will be getting supported by countries like China and Russia, major industrial superpowers that of course are geopolitically opposed against the United States and Israel, as of course this conflict is not only going to create global chaos but financial ruin for a lot of people who are dependent on cheap oil and energy, as of course this conflict is expected to increase the price of energy on the world market, as of course through the proxies it involves Russia and Iran, the biggest energy producers on the world stage. Why would the United States geopolitically position itself against the two biggest energy producers on the world? That to me is just nonsensical. It's idiotic. It's not strategic at all, as of course the United States is already involved in this conflict, as many military strategists have already declared that this is a global conflict that there is no going back from. Do you think that's the truth here? Press 1 if you think that is, down in the comment section below. Press 2 if you don't think it is. But when you look at history, a lot of people are in wars and don't even realize how vast, how big, how expansive, and how destructive the wars that they are already in that have begun without them even realizing it. So are we in that moment right now? I really hope we're not, as of course, I think it's fair to say we definitely need more de-escalation. We definitely need more of a peace deal. We definitely need more negotiations. We need to end this madness. And if you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actually watching and supporting this independent media organization. I hope you guys are having a happy Halloween. As you can see me, I'm not doing too well because of all the governments out there that truly do not give a damn about you. Definitely not doing too well here, and rip. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more. I got one more video coming your way right now on LukeUnfiltered.com. See you there.